primary election. Also talked with Northwest Indiana nature activist Ron Seman about his website and his curated nature hikes that he conducts in the National Dunes National and State Parks and the Shirley Hines Nature Preserves in Porter County. We also have a conversation coming up as well, too, with Meals on Wheels volunteer manager Charlie Masovi. A question, I guess, that could be answered because there are some folks that are not familiar with how politics.
What you kind of have a feel for it, then we can look at what makes sense in the future for an elected office.
We're talking to Lake County.
I would say we're going to run it out of that office and work.
Radio 89.1 FM.
Presidents and politicians, global leaders, and
exactly where to go.
The May 3rd primary election, or
person or individual, but for further information, we direct the person or individual. But for further information, we direct those folks.
Indiana Dunes National Park. In fact, we'll have more.
My vice chairperson and the director of the election board, Michelle Seman, and her number is 219-765-3913. And we would be the two direct, most immediate points of contact, and then we get them going to the right person, or we may be the right person or individual, but for further information, we direct those folks to someone else then.
Jim Whizzer is a Lake County Democratic Party chairman. Jim, thanks for the information today, and we'll see how things work out as we start out first with the May 3rd primary election and move ahead into November and the months and years ahead. Thanks for being with us today.
Okay, great talking to you, Chris.
This is Regionally Speaking on Lakeshore Public Radio.
$3 billion in federal relief funding is coming to Indiana schools over the next few years. The stimulus is meant to help schools bounce back from the pandemic, but so far, it's been difficult to find out what districts are going to do with this new money. I'm Miriam Sobe. Next time on All In, we'll talk to education reporter Dylan Piers-McCoy to find out what she's learned and hear from the district leader in South Bend about their district's plans. Join us.
Join us daily at noon here on Lakeshore Public Radio, 89.1 FM.
presidents and politicians, global leaders, and grassroots activists. Democracy Now! Talks with all sides of the story to get the most comprehensive look possible of the changing global landscape. I'm Amy Goodman. Together with Juan Gonzalez, we host the award-winning independent news hour, Democracy Now!, getting the answers to questions you may have or may not have thought of, or maybe you didn't even think they were important at all, but now are intrigued. Tune in every Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m. for Democracy Now! Here on Lakeshore Public Radio and streaming online at lakeshorepublicmedia.org.
We talk a lot about things happening in the Indiana Dunes National Park. In fact, we'll have more of that in the conversation here on the program a little later. But first, let's find out about the opportunities. And even though it's wintertime, you still should make plans for visiting the Indiana Dunes National Park to do some hiking. The best person to talk about that, we have with us now Ron Seman, who has a website which is entitled Indiana Dunes Hiking, all one word.com. He's also on Facebook, and he's with us to tell us more about some of the nature hikes that you should take advantage of, and not only the Indiana Dunes National Park, the Indiana Dunes State Park next door, and also the Shirley Hines Nature Preserves. And Ron, thank you for joining us on Lakeshore Public Radio today.
Well, it's very nice to be here. It's an honor to be able to talk to the listeners about opportunities. And when I do what's called a curated hike, which means I'm planning exactly where to go on any specific day.
Who's your slide in Michigan City?
We're going to have a night hike, and we're having it because the skies are supposed to be clear, or at least partly clear, so that you'll be able to see the stars. On full moon hike, we'll look at to know exactly the best days to look at the moon. But when we talk about the winter time, we're getting some really great temperatures, low temperatures, which means parts of the lake and the lakefront will be freezing. So you'll get to see shellfish. So it's a particularly great time, if it's not too windy, to hike along the beach and view the different shellfish. It's also incredible to see the shellfish when it begins to thaw, because there's what I call water volcanoes. Water shoots up. There's under the snow and ice, there are little creeks. So anyway, there's the lakefront, but then there's the forest. The forest has birds year-round, like the pileated woodpecker or the barred owl and others. And so it's beautiful to be able to listen to them, to see them. And for people who don't want to be exposed to the wind, by being in the forest, the dunes are typically blocking it in the forest. So it's a nice time there. Also, inland we have marshes, so you get to see the beaver lodges. And occasionally during the day, a beaver will come out, but the best time is at night.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is we have many, many opportunities, and I'll talk with people. They can email me at indianaduneshiking@gmail, and they can request a hike for their family or for a group, and we'll plan exactly the hike for them. For example, if they have mobility problems, we're not going to do the 3-dune challenge. If they don't want to walk on sand, we have dirt, and we also actually have pavement. If they can't do that, I could take them on driving tours. Lastly, the parks also have electric wheelchairs that can go through a variety of surfaces. So there's no reason anyone can't get out of their drywall box, which has 100 things which make it toxic, even if you don't know about it.
Right. Now, I understand you had a Christmas Eve hike here there at the Indiana Dunes State Park that started out, I guess, from the Nature Center. How did that turn out, by the way?
Oh, it was beautiful. We the first hour we walked
It's
through
from
Trail
World
10,
War
and I
II,
taught
a
about
blank.
the the biodiversity and how it's important for
The
your
Navy used to
microbiome,
have it.
which is your
This is my photo.
defense system, your immune system. And then we got to the fun part where we got on the half-mile boardwalk where the beavers were. And people didn't know, but I had a large Bluetooth
Collection
speaker
of
in my
rocks
big
from
backpack. I
Michigan.
began playing Silent Night, serenading the beavers in their lives. So
The Pinhook Bog Upland Trail,
there was a
Turkey
young
Tail.
girl on the hike who liked Christmas music and singing. So I went on YouTube as we were walking, and I'd play Christmas songs.
Perspective.
And after another half mile, we heard the
This
barred
isn't
owl
mine.
calling, and I said, well, he must like the
It's from the state
Christmas
parks.
music. And so anyway, we just had a really fun time. We have I have massive lights available, so
Paul
the
H.
ground
Douglas.
can be very clear. I also have red lights so that doesn't impact our eyes.
This
so
is
we can
where
look up
Diana
and
the
see stars
Dunes is
and
buried.
birds in the tree.
Was
So
it?
was a great hike.
Vietnam
Easy.
veterans.
And the reason why I don't do it on Christmas
Memorial
Eve is because
in
everyone's
Chesterton.
tied up with their family and
Yeah.
friends.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's right, because you had it on the 23rd this year because Christmas was Christmas Eve was Friday the 24th, and Christmas Day, of course, on a Saturday. So does it
Chalbert
turn out
Farm.
that even though I guess this year was a little warmer than usual for any type of a Christmas-related hike,
My night
do you
hike, or
find
not
that,
night hike.
there are people
Christmas
that do
hike.
like to come out, especially either to the Indiana Dunes National Park or the State Park, and catch the hikes
Campground.
during the wintertime? Or do you find more people that just want to be more
That's
more
the
interested in going out
No
and
Dune
checking
Challenge.
out the park in more detail during the warmer weather months?
Well, I thought amazingly more people are interested in late fall, winter, because one thing, there are not many people there. You're not waiting 2 hours to get into the state park. A second thing is people hate ticks, and they have a lot of phobias about ticks.
Yeah.
So when temperatures stay in the 30s and 20s and below, the ticks are really dormant. And also mosquitoes. There have been times where on a hike of 2 hours, like by myself, I'm checking out a trail to see if it would be good for others. I was on a part of cold fog, and there were 100 mosquitoes during that time trying to attack me. But
Oh, geez.
I had the proper clothes. I even had a little $5 net I could put over my hat and cover my face. So what I say is there has never been bad weather at the Indiana Dunes. The only thing we've had is ill-prepared
Psychedelic mushroom.
You can't come out on a day like today with a hoodie and expect to have a good time. You know, you need to have layers. And I explain all that to my hikers. I have videos on what to do. And I realize people are on financial constraints.
Look at those stars.
You don't have to go and buy everything at once.
Beautiful.
You start say, with good shoes and then and
here's
work
the
your
lake
way
level.
around.
I suppose it's smart anyway. Just to, I guess we talk about kind of getting yourself acquainted.
Here it's higher than now.
These nature hikes, and you start out with the right equipment and the right clothing. And for this particular case, you start out during the warmer weather months, certainly with better shoes. And you can wear those better shoes, well, even though it's cold. But you just have to remember, as you mentioned, to dress in layers. Be sure you're ready for the cold winds coming.
This is part of the All Dune Challenge. Actually, this is 6 Dune Challenge.
So imagine you're racing in 20 degrees. You're moving.
What
20
3
miles
words
an hour,
app?
Feet are spinning at 100 RPM. You can get real cold. So layers are important. Like for example, you wear a super thin synthetic sock underneath wool in a good shoe, and then if it's extremely cold, like below zero, you're wearing a neoprene, which the scuba divers would use, and there's booties that go over. So there's all these kinds of layers. And one thing people always forget, on a windy day, if you're going to the lakefront, you really need safety glasses, because the fan can blow right into your eye.
Looks like a flame.
You have to go to a doctor or take a week to get
That's
it
the
out.
actual.
So there's a lot
Found
of
that
safety
alive.
things, whether it's summer
I love that
or
leaf.
winter. But in answer to your early question,
My signature.
I find people more for the late fall and winter, because there's fewer people and no bugs. And you can see the intricate layout of the tree branches. And what's incredible is you compare those tree branches, that network, and look at your lungs network, and they match. So the tree kicks out oxygen, and we take it. And it's like mapped together. So that's real neat.
Ron, we're going to have to get back together again here, certainly before the warmer weather months, to talk about the nature hikes in particular. But we should mention that if you have questions, if you want to find out more, especially if you're interested in taking advantage of some of these fall and winter hikes in particular, where you have to really dress properly, go online to Indiana Dunes Hiking, oneword.com, to Ron's website, and find out more not only about what to wear, what to bring,
the Museum of Nature and Industry.
Find out more and take a look at some of the great pictures.
Paulage Douglas Trail from the lagoon.
Ron, thank you for spending time with us today to talk about not only the opportunity to join with nature and learn things that you may not otherwise learn from walking around the Indiana Dunes National and State Parks, as well
Michigan
as
City.
over at the Shirley Hines Nature Preserves too. Thanks for talking with us today, and we'll have you back on again soon.
Thank you, Chris. My privilege to be able to your listeners get healthier and have fun. They go together.
That's Ron Seman, who is a nature activist here in Northwest Indiana, based out of the Chesterton area. You're
Raining, go to a night hike.
Lakeshore Public Radio.
This is what we're going to do with hikers. I learned this in Chicago. This is one of my favorite pictures in Chicago I've taken. Here, let me go back. I tell people, this is with my very powerful lens. Here I am at the state park, and see how you can see Chicago. Of course, that's not true. This is at 31st Street in 31st Street at the lakefront Lakeshore Drive, the bicycle trail. And because I have a super wide angle lens, that sort of distorts it. There's Max. He doesn't look big there, but he's extremely powerful. Here's the entrance to the park, and turkey tail. Look at the massive amounts of turkey tail. Here's a tripod that I have so I can do videos and photographs while moving. I can't row and do it at the same time. Here is Rafi Wilkinson, ranger, who knows the most about the Mount Baldy. And here you can see that this was earlier in the summer-ish, and you could see there's quite a gap, but now there isn't. Here's a deer actually violating the rules and going up Mount Baldy. That's the great egret. See him here. In 2020, I saw 32 of them. This is a beautiful photo looking towards the power plant from Coles Bog Greenbelt Trail. Someone took this from the east, a person. This is on the greatest sunset ever on the first day of fall, this 2021. Yeah, this is that same day. And it's just, I took about 155 photos, and they were, it changed from gold to blue and orange, and you got to see them all. But it was just incredible. Oh, and here's the woman. She has this Garmin, and I said, "Oh, I know what that is." I said, "The people are monitoring, and they know precisely where you are." And she said, "That's right." And I said, "Hey, you took a picture of the hiking group." And she said, "That's right." And I said, "So now your parents have that in iCloud?" And she said, "That's right." So she knows who she was with and where she was. There are some monarchs on showy goldenrods, yellow goldenrods. Here is something people don't see. Here's the nature center. Look at the different kinds of light that are emitted, different frequencies. This is the guy from Minnesota. He's the wilderness adventure. They come down, and here we are in a part of Gary that, this is my kayak, but he has these big canoes, and he's taking kids. Oh, this is from Beverly Shores, and that's from West Beach. This is a monarch. This is on Trail 3. There's another one. This is a favorite photo of mine. This was the day when, somewhere around September 20th, it was the day for... Oh yeah, I took a picture. It just reminded me of some kind of animal. Look at that water. Like a wall of water. It looks like it was just being held up. More monarchs. Get out on a night hike. So if you've been with me, here's 3 people. You'll see this is what we call Kemmel Road, coming from the beach, and that's where the parking lot is. So I'm going to stop there.